Zeljko Obradovic is the best ever European coach. His coaching tree is enormous. Throughout his long career, he had many assistants or players of his becoming successful managers. Now, it's time for another European to influence others. Tuomas Iisalo's career skyrocketed to the NBA in just a few years, but it's not just that. I'm seeing heavy influence on some other young European coaches. They are copying Iisalo's style while adding a little bit of their own ideas. Meet Francesco Tabellini, an Italian who is taking over Paris basketball and the next great European coach no one is talking about yet. Make sure you stay until the end to see the best modern ideas and Tabellini's best wrinkles. Relentless, that's the word to describe Italian's teams. Last year he coached a relatively small, by European standards, Nymburk club from Czech Republic. They won the championship in the domestic league, competed in Basketball Champions League and finished the season winning an insane 56 games out of 64. His team, just like Iisalo's Bonn and Paris, dominated in all Europe in the same three statistical categories. They played the fastest basketball, they were the best getting second chances, and they forced the most opponents' turnovers. Leading one category would be already amazing, but all three, that's beyond impressive. I've researched a lot of Tabellini's interviews, I've asked people around, and everybody everywhere gave me the same one word to describe Italian's playstyle: relentless. To his players, he emphasizes playing as hard as possible each and every day, whether in a practice or in a game. A culture was built from day one in Nymburk, and they were almost always the team wanting it more on the court. Now, while it's super important to make sure all the players are bought in 100% each and every day, it is not everything. Successful strategies is the other major factor. For example, in the pick and rolls, Tabellini is a big fan of a tactic Iisalo made famous in Europe: hedge and plug. While the big man's job stays the same to aggressively pressure the ball handler, the defending guard does not stay attached nearby. Instead, he retreats backwards, limiting the possibility of a short roll pass. The usage of hedge and plug has risen exponentially this last season, and I'm expecting an even bigger leap next year too. But that was not the only reason Nymburk created so many opponents' turnovers in Europe. They were also pressuring them full court 40 minutes per game. It wasn't easier when the offense got to a half-court set. By using aggressive pressure, they were not allowing to receive the ball easy on the passes, making the opponents play higher than they actually wanted. All of this defensive aggressiveness helped them hugely in order to lead in all Europe in transition possessions. 14% of the time, their offense ended in a fast break. Just think about it. To compare, only one team in the EuroLeague out of 18 was above 10% in this category. And yeah, you guessed it right. It was the former Iisalo's team, Paris Basketball, which signed Francesco Tabellini this summer. So if you were surprised by this Paris move, signing a relatively unknown name in Europe, now I believe the pieces are starting to fall together for you, aren't they? Tabellini's motto for transition offense is beat your own man. Nymburk's players were often the first to react, helping them to outrun the closest opponent. That would create all kinds of chaos and lead to easy baskets. Even after makes, they would run like crazy and play the first pick and roll, which would usually be some kind of a slip screen as early as with 19 or 18 seconds left on the shot clock. The defenses are not in their best positions, the miscommunications are way likelier to happen than in a set, static play. The third category Nymburk dominated in all Europe was offensive rebounds. In 4 possessions out of 10, they would get a second chance. In 21 of their 64 games this season, they managed to grab at least 15 boards on offense. That's incredible numbers. They did it by A, again, playing relentlessly, going for every possible board, and B, using a tag-up offensive rebounding system. It was created by an Australian coach, Aaron Fierney, and popularized in Europe once again by Tuomas Iisalo. As the shot goes up and the defense is trying trying to box out. The offensive player would not try to go in front, but rather push the opponent under the basket. Plus, the offense tries to cover free spots around the painted area, so every longer rebound is theirs. Moreover, such strategy allows your team to be ready for transition defense as every player is tagged with an opponent. Now, let's look at some other aspects that define Tabellini's style, and this is where things get interesting. Moving without the ball for him is extremely important. For example, on a four-corner pick and roll, we see a wheel spacing concept. Weak side player lifts up, strong side corner guy cuts along the baseline, wingman moves to his spot. Such spacing is perfect to punish the defenders that sit in driving gaps. While it is nothing particularly new in Europe, Cleveland and Memphis, with Iisalo as an assistant there, were heavily praised for using it in the NBA this last season. It worked wonders for them, created a lot of easy points, and I expect a bigger usage of it next year. Finally, we get to Tabellini's own wrinkles that made Nymburk unstoppable this season. Just like Iisalo, he loves Iverson entries. The classic action goes as follows: side pick and roll, then a pick and roll in the middle. But since almost every team used this classic setup, often the ball handler at the top is denied from the ball. To counter that, the Italian head coach came up with this stampede catch solution where the point guard sprints before catching the basketball. Such move catches the opposing defenses completely off guard and creates a lot of easy baskets. This worked spectacularly throughout the year for Nymburk because you simply don't expect a backdoor cut like this in front of your face from a point guard who is standing almost at a half-court line. And Nymburk used these stampede closeout attacks everywhere. The movement of the ball is so hard to guard, and look how it pays off. As pick and roll happens here, the shooter looks for a stampede closeout attack here, but the pass goes to the center. Shooter immediately reacts first, cuts backdoor then, and gets a nice dunk. It's such a simple looking yet so creative way to create advantage. I'm loving it. Here the ball handler drives in. The help defender is not that far away from his man, but he immediately loses position just because Nymburk's used this strategy. Oh, and of course, an off-ball cut happened here as well. I particularly love this next example. On this pick and roll, the opponent switch. Guard catches the ball, the possession seems stuck, he passes it up, and usually you expect a boomerang pass back and another off the dribble ISO try that often turns into a jump shot. Instead, boom, we see a give and go stampede catch, and that turns into 2 easy points. Yes, of course, there was a Gortat screen under the basket too. Beautiful to watch details all over the court, and that is why Paris basketball president firmly believes that Francesco Tabellini will be EuroLeague's head coach of the year in his rookie season. However, I left my favorite Nymburk action for the end of this video. After the side to side, the center pops up for 5-out spacing. Then time for magic. Off-ball screen here, one of these two guys cut, and then a flare screen happens. If only you knew how many times this completely confused the defense this last season. Another great example here. 3 defenders must be in such a sync because watch how fast everything happens. There is a curl around the pick, and the picker then gets a flare half second after. Just awesome. It is such a hard action to guard for a couple of reasons. First, the receiver of the first screen has so many options of how to use the pick. It is not a predetermined movement, and the paint is wide open because the big is outside of it with the basketball. In the previous clip, we saw the pick receiver cut under the basket. This time against Galatasaray, he sees his own man trying to cut under the pick, so he uses the flare. Help defender is closer to the rim because he wants to protect it from easy layups like in the clip before, and Nymburk gets a free this time. Against Nanterre, the receiver just reads the defense. They face guard G for some reason. Backdoor cut, paint is open, 2 easy points guaranteed. No predetermined movements, insane speed, and quick decisions. Last year's Nymburk with Francesco Tabellini at the helm was a pleasure to watch. They had so much beautiful stuff, we would need like 30 minutes video to break it all down. For example, like this witty baseline out of bounds play. Shooters must have loved playing under this Italian coach because he looked so creative coming up with the plays for them. Expect to see the same system in Paris next season too. And if Francesco Tabellini and co start winning and surprising everyone in the EuroLeague once again, just remember who told you all about this before it was cool. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you in the next one.